Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kids?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
After finishing up in the Florida Peninsula, we're going on to the West Coast, a track that no longer exists except for here on iRacing. Live here tonight from Auto Club Speedway in California, it's the Saturday Night Racing League, season number 6, race number 2. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and production here tonight as Connor Horn has been joining me all 5 seasons. Connor, we have so much variety of winners, so many different names on the list, and that list of names for the championship, it's only one repeat. as we've went through 5 seasons.
Jeff Wright getting it done last season, becoming the first to get more than just one championship. He's bookended the seasons with season 1 and season 5 with Mick Waterbanks and Bailey Turner in the middle with some different cars in there. Jeff Wright's won both races, both championships in the Gen 4 car. Joseph McWhorter, Joshua Banks, Bailey Turner getting it done in either a next gen or the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series car. We'll see what we get with this car this season. Already got a new winner. Andrew Telganoff became, I believe, the 27th different winner in Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series history last week. We'll see if he can back that up. He had a great qualifying effort, but usually if you haven't won a championship, you don't win at Auto Club, and not just usually. That's just all-time history here. This is a staple of the series. We've gone here all 5 seasons, and a non-series champion has never won here.
Montana, California, 2 miles in length, 14 degrees of progressive banking. It should be wide, it should be fast, and we should see a lot of multi-groove racing. But tonight, Connor, we had to qualify to get in. So 3 drivers did not make the grid here tonight. John Sanu, Logan Water, and Mark McFadden did not make the cut here this evening. So 46 drivers entered the race here today, and only 43 got the rights to go for week 2.
Yeah, 2-mile racetrack with not too much banking in the corners, which kind of makes it that multi-grooved, action-packed racetrack that we always see. Pretty tough to do a hot lap around here. John Sanu, Logan Water, Mark McFadden, they were only 2 of those 3 were only a few hundredths off to a 10th off, but everyone put a time down, so you had to make it on speed. They just weren't able to do it. But all the 43 drivers who made the race are going to be in for an action-packed race with the full fuel tank like we've been doing the past season, including this season. You have 5 tire sets available, pit speed 55 miles an hour. Should be a 2-stop if it goes green. I don't expect anyone to really make it to lap 50 without saving a bunch of fuel, and we've had to use green-white checkers plenty of times here at Auto Club, and maybe tonight will be no different.
Starting on the pole here this evening, Justin Michael with a 42.131. It's about 400ths of a second faster than AJ Stravato. 33 car will start to the outside on the front row. Last week's winner, Andrew Telganoff, in the number 3. He will start in 3rd position with Chuck Sweeting in 4th spot. Then you go to James Lehman and Adam Cabot for row 3. Gareth Shepard and Jeff Wright will be in row 4, and rounding out the top 10, Chad Klinger in the 09, Joshua Banks in 10.
Joseph McWhorter returns to the series and not race in the SNR 500 last week. He's one of only 3 winners at this track, and he will start 11th alongside Chris Hodges in 12th. He was so close last week to victory. 13th position, the 6-car Elliott Butler. He'll be alongside the 57, a Supra, Dakota Floyd, as we get the 1 to go next time by. And then row number 8, I believe, Philip Brewer, always a threat in the 44 car, will start 15th. Next to the Ford Mustang of Noah Mahalski, the 03 car starts 16th. Bailey Turner, he is one of the 3 winners here. He's a 2-time winner here. Not a good start at Daytona. Could not get 4 in a row there. He will try to get his 3rd Auto Club victory from 17th on the starting grid. He starts alongside Justin Ritchie in the 55. Brian Chanlis, who's won a race on fuel mileage at Atlanta in this series. He's done, fuel mileage at Auto Club. It could always come into play here. He'll start 19th alongside, I believe, last week's pole winner, Justin Carey, will start 20th.
21st with Ryan Carwile. Max Koss will start in 22nd spot. 23rd is Seth Hatchell. Angelo Horonis in 24th. A lot of fast drivers deep in this field. Eldon Stewart, 25th. Nathan Ferrata will start in 26th position. Ray Massey and Matt Shinosky, 27th and 28th. And that top 30 with Caleb Weekly and Austin Belkey in the 89.
Usually when Kenny Kibbe's back here, he didn't put a time down, but he did put a time down. He just did not have a good one. 31st on the grid for the runner-up in the title last season, alongside Tim Shinosky in the 07. Stephen Davis, 33rd, alongside Reggie Ortega in 34th. He has a lot of work to do, along with Bryce Shoemaker, 35th. Michael Jones, 36th. The 18 this week of Rob Hamp, he'll start 37th, alongside Case Lakatos in 38th. And rounding out the top 40, just barely making the field, some of these guys, Ben Laughter and Broderick Vaclavic, who won last season at Talladega.
Brandon Wallace, Ryan Den, and Keith Shoemaker, and there's John Sanu, who did not make the cut this evening. 131 degrees, the track temperature here this evening. It's going to be very slippery. Relative humidity 22% with 1 to 6 mile per hour winds. Justin Michael going to lead us into turn 1. Here we go for season 6, race number 2. These cars pulling off this time by last week's winner in row 2, just behind the 87 as we get set to go green. Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors is live and racing at Auto Club. Already some wheel spin at the start. 3 wide, 4 wide going into turn 1.
I think that was Chuck Sweeting. He looked like he just missed a shift. I don't know how they haven't wrecked yet, but they're 3-4 wide. We thought it'd be a moment before we had all these cars all over the place, but somehow they at least made it through that.
Gonna continue that down the backstretch. Still, that accordion effect. Back through the field. Ellen Stewart found himself on the outside of Brian Chambliss. Everyone scattering for positions. And some more 3 and 4 wide back here around the 28th position. A lot going on through this pack.
You're going to see a lot of drivers 3 and 4 wide, but you're going to see a lot of drivers on the inside part of the racetrack to start this race. Once that inside part of the racetrack kind of gets rubbered up, that group kind of starts to tighten up. Should see more drivers as the tires wear out. Just more and more drivers going towards that outside wall, but everyone's going to be more towards the bottom to start this race, which means a lot of pinching to the bottom. As Andrew Telganoff into Napa Chevy this week, he's in the middle, tried to pinch McWhorter to the bottom, but couldn't quite do it. It's a tight 3 wide.
AJ Stravato took over the lead from the 87, just coming off of turn 2. Looks like he's going to hold on for the time being, coming off of turn 4. Doesn't look like the 87 got a run, but the bottom seems to be a little bit faster so far. 3 wide again with Telganoff on the bottom this time.
And he's able to kind of cross McWhorter over throughout the entire corner. That's a kind of, you got the slide job you can use at Auto Club, but then you'll have to cross over to go with it. So you're going to see plenty of battling just like that at this track all season long. But McWhorter trying to use the tires a little bit more just to get past some of these guys. Drove it into 1, cleared Telganoff, and got all the way around Justin Michael just about. As AJ Stravato, haven't talked about him in the lead of a lot of races lately, but he's leading right now and got the lead on that initial start.
Had to lift down at the throttle a little early, but the high line for James Lehman has picked him up a couple spots. He's been following McWhorter to this lead. And as we come off of turn 4, it looks like we're about to have a battle for that lead. Single file out. Just as I say that, the 98 of J.R. Shepard looking for a spot on cap.
He's got an average finish of about 3rd in 2 races, so 2 top 5s in 2 races here. He's got a good track record here. So we'll see if he can do something today. He's already within the top 5, almost within the top 5. Just can't quite clear Telganoff, and he's getting very arrow loose. Elliott Butler right on the rear bumper. Hit the 3 of Telganoff, came up into him a little bit. He's going to lose maybe 2 more spots to the 6 and the 09 of Chad Klinger.
You can see it was getting arrow loose already. Actually was pushing tight up into Telganoff, and then the 6 of Elliott Butler got right up on the back bumper. Create a loose condition in these cars every time.
And meanwhile, last time through turns 1 and 2, McWhorter took it to the middle of the racetrack, got to the outside of AJ Stravato. Now that's a 3-way battle for the lead because James Lehman, who we know so good on the short run at every track we go to, he's driving it hard to the middle of the racetrack. Stravato's going to fall back to 3rd. Just let these 2 ride away from him for the time being.
So lead change. James Lehman's going to get by for 2nd spot. Stravato got his lap led, falls back to 3rd. Here comes Adam Cabot, the driver we know oh so well. Is this the year that we maybe see Adam Cabot put it all together? I know he ran limited schedules the last 2 seasons, was not full time, but for the times he was here, he did finish well.
James Lehman goes back to the lead. Yeah, whenever Adam Cabot shows up to a race, he's going to be a battle. He's going to be in contention for the win. Just a matter of if he can run close enough to a full season to compete for the championship. If he does run enough races and can stay in contention, he'll be a threat, but just never know with his schedule if he's going to be able to show up. But already showing speed right now in that Atlas Hair Products Chevrolet Camaro up to that 4th position, letting these top 2 kind of ride it out and maybe wear their stuff out. I think that's why Stravato let those 2 by, because he's really conservative on the throttle on corner exit, not trying to wear that right front out too much as car slid in the grass way at the back. That was Chris Hodges who had to make a save, but that's, I think, what Stravato and Cabot are doing, just trying to let those top 2 wear their tires out.
Hodges off at turn 4. We'll take it back on a quick replay here. Might have had some help. Let's find out. On the outside, I believe, in the 77.
Ferrata's there, Dakota Floyd's there, Seth Hatchell's in the picture. Ferrata gets to be outside. You know, they just kind of come together off the corner, and if Seth Hatchell was a little bit further up, that would have been a spin for the 15. Definitely got away with one there between those two.
Here's another driver that's, I think, due for a victory in the Cup Series. He's come close. He really turned up the heat there at the end of season 2, but it's Noah Michalski running in 12th right now. Has gained 4 spots. Definitely has top 10 pace as he continues to move through this field. Following the 35, your season 3 champion, Joshua Banks. Continuing to pick up spots, and I was kind of wondering about that, Connor. We had a lot of powerful names, some heavy hitters deep in this field to start the race off, but they've worked their way through pretty quickly.
We had a lot of heavy hitters last week who just did run well and just got caught up in some of the big ones that we had. Banks was one of them. Turner was one of them. They did not have good points days and really didn't have a chance at the end of that race. We really had such a thin field for that final green-white checkered. So a lot of drivers trying to bounce back with a good run, like the 35, like the 24. Adam Cabot didn't even get the show up last week because he had friends over. I think that's what he said. AJ Travato, another driver, he had to repair so much damage, got back in the main pack. He was really in like the last crash. So he's another driver. A lot of drivers just trying to recover and put Daytona in the rearview mirror and just put the super speedways behind them until they get to the next one, of course.
In a variety of racetracks, we're always guaranteed some form of road racing as well here at SNR, but it's a long schedule. This goes all the way into August, I believe, for the chase format, and James Lehman leading so far. This is not a win and you're in. There's no stages. This is classic NASCAR at its best, at its peak. Most opinionated, but I think this is the points format that everyone agreed upon. We touched on that last week. And bringing it back in NASCAR, as you see a change for the lead. McWhorter just about 100th of a second ahead coming out of 2.
And Lehman just making that outside lane work right now, driving off in the right rear, getting really good runs off the corner. But you know eventually those tires are going to give out, and he's going to start to fade backwards at some point. And outside lane's pretty good 1 and 2. You just don't generate the same type of run that you probably should out of turns 3 and 4, just because there's a few bumps up there that kind of deter your run. You can still get a run, no doubt, but I don't think it's as good up there. And those tires are going to start to hurt at some point. McWhorter's trying to... It's kind of a tale of 3 different strategies for these top 3. James Lehman's just sending it, and just if the tires wear out, the tires wear out. McWhorter's kind of in middle ground where he's not really hard saving the tires, but he's definitely trying to ride hard to make sure he stays P2. I think AJ Travato's just letting both these drivers wear their tires out, and he's sitting back as much as he possibly can, and even Adam Cabot might be doing the same thing.
Your pole sitter, Justin Michael, has fallen back to 7th position. This field spread out tremendously in just 11 laps. All the way back to Broderick Vaclavic and Michael Jones. It is 7.3 seconds back here to 43rd, 42nd spot.
And it's still very fortunate that I think we had that missed shift on the front row from one of those drivers that we did not have an incident happen. And pretty much doesn't seem like anyone's got damage. Like you mentioned, this is 43rd all the way up to the front, still pretty much in the same line, not really getting too spread out throughout the field. You'd usually think maybe some off-throttle time, it'll get more spread out, and it should get more spread out if we get to those pit stops, but still pretty packed up race.
89 of Austin Melke. It looks like he has a little bit of damage on the left rear of this machine as we get a look at it from the backstretch. He's lost about 10 spots. Matt Shinotsky's lost 11, so maybe they got together and sorted it out where they're able to save the cars, but lost a lot of positions in the process.
Able to look out of it on my own. I think it was actually Brian Dean that was able to, not able to, but he kind of got into the 89 multiple laps ago. But 20 car is all good, 89 not so much, as those top 3, but kind of starting to scoot away from the rest of the field. You got Adam Cabot still sitting in 4th, Telkinoff right next to him, but at 17 of Cabot just letting those 3 get away a little bit. Part of the reason why it's so stacked up is just there's not too much draft, but at the same time, not too much off-throttle time right now, and everyone's really trying to run the same pace to save those tires. It almost looks like a Cars Tour race where everyone's conserving their stuff for the first 3/4 of the race, and then when you get to the last quarter of the race, you're like, all right, I'm going to send it and just drive the tires off it. It's kind of what it looks like right now, just way more amplified because it's a 2-mile racetrack.
So Spread it through the field. Top 10 with Lehman, McWhorter, Servato. Last week's winner, Saganov. You have Cabot side by side with him. To the outside for the 17. Then you have Michael, Klinger, Shepard, Banks, and Mahalski. Mahalski just now cracked the top 10 up 6 spots.
This is really good stuff right now. And, I would think Cabot's saving his tires, but I feel like he'd want to protect to the inside a little bit more to keep those tires on. You see Telganov really trying to chase him up the track, side draft him back so he can get that advantage down to the middle of the corner, but just couldn't quite do it. But maybe the 17 will start showing his pace once they get later. Oh, Justin Michael got a little bit of a boot by Klinger into the corner. He was able to keep it straight. That was tight racing. That's going to bunch up these top 15 drivers even more.
Just outside the frame there, so let's take a look back at this.
Justin Michael was really just checking up for the 3 into the corner, and then 09 just didn't check up for him. It is a cluster back there, 6th on back right now. He's right here, he's gonna check up, and Klinger just drove in there faster than he thought he would. And ooh, got a spin out of turn 4 live. Looks like Ryan Carwow's in the grass with Justin Ritchie. 71 car is gonna come to a stop. It looks like he's gonna reset with no yellow.
Replay button getting a little bit of a workout here on lap 16, but watch this with the 71. It looks like maybe a mistake sliding up in front of the 77. Yep.
Ah, yeah. That was for about the 20th position, and he was not clear, and that's the product of Auto Club, where that outside line gets such a bigger run than you're anticipating. You think you could slide up with plenty of room, but by the time you're almost in front of them, they're already to your right rear, and that was the case where it's early in the race. Carwell could probably be a little bit more patient than that, so that doesn't happen. And poor Justin Ritchie, nothing he could do about it either, so he's going to have damage to deal with. Now he's all the way at 42nd.
So maybe our first retirement here tonight with Ryan Carwile hitting the pit lane into the wall for Mahalski. A little bit too early to the throttle, and the 6 all over the back end. That'll be a wall touch coming out of 2.
Really hard to judge that. You think you're fine, but that outside wall kind of indents in out of turn number 2 with that safer barrier kind of jutting out. So it's really hard to get out of there without knocking the wall down. You got to be really careful, very easy on the throttle, especially when the tires start wearing out like this. And I mean, we have a lot of fall off. We're in the 44-second bracket. James Laven's still leading, but the fall off is about 2 seconds. It's close to 2 seconds right now. And it's probably going to get a little bit worse until we get through our first set of green flag pit stops. So if you're driving them off right now, you probably got half a run left before we get to the end, as Travato gets the second past McWhorter.
It also doesn't help. We started this race at 131 degrees on the track temperature. Now we're up to 133, so continuing to go up. And for every lap that we run under green that we're rubbering this place up, it's going to continue to rise.
Talking about Cabot and his pace, he's actually pulled away from this pack. That includes Mahalski. So he has stepped it up a notch. So those tires looking good. The pace is looking good. Last time by, he was faster. He was faster than McWhorter at least, but he was not faster than the top 2. But he's definitely pulled away from Andrew Telganoff, who maybe is holding up. He's not just holding up one driver. If he is holding drivers up, he's got about 5 drivers in behind him, and one of those is Jeff Wright, who did not really qualify as well as maybe we'd anticipate him to, being, I believe, a 2-time winner at this racetrack. He could have been a 3-time winner at this racetrack if that one yellow didn't happen that one season. But not the best qualifying efforts, but just outside the top 10.
We're looking at possibly 3 wide, almost there with J.R. Shepard, Andrew Toganoff, and Justin Michael. They back out of it there at the last second. J.R. Shepard doing everything he can to get back to the top 5. He had it there briefly, and then the 3 of Toganoff started to defend. So I don't know that Toganoff's necessarily holding these guys up. I just think they're having a hard time completing the pass. He's running his line, and they just can't get to his inside. It's the only line that he's given them.
They had been right on his bumper, but Telganoff actually pulled away from that group a little bit the last lap or so. So maybe he can try to chase down some of those top 3 or top 4 if they start fading. Definitely looks like McWhorter has not been able to save his stuff. His times have really been dropping off. James Lehman's times still looking really good right now. Thought he would have been starting to fade at this point, but he still looks good. Bailey Turner, series champion in the next-gen car. He's trying to get through the field himself. He started further back than he probably wanted to. He's up now to 16th position. He started 17th, so he's only moved up to 1 spot, but still a clean race car, riding behind Philip Brewer.
Deeper in this field, looking a little bit further back, there's the 63 of Max Cost, the 23 of Ray Massey. Christopher Hodges just brushed the wall again. The 15 car has hemorrhaged 11 spots from where he started this race. Max Cost has stayed where he started in 22nd spot. Quiet day so far for the 63.
That's probably what Max Cost needs, though. If he can't get a victory, just have a quiet day, have a clean race car at the end, and maybe salvage spots if it becomes that type of race, possibly. As it's a product of a 43-car field to start the race. You're going to have battling pretty much all around the racetrack. I think that's Rob Hamp in the background that we saw battling Case Lakatos, not to mention battling still going on at the front with Chad Klinger and Justin Michael.
Joshua Banks and Noah Mahalski went
crash!
at it.
Justin Michael, Joshua Banks, a little bit of a crash. Is he going to save it? I think he does, but he's got a lot of damage. As does the 35 of Banks. That was out of turn 2 that time. A little bit different.
'87 walks up the track. 35's getting a big run here.
Oh,
I
he
don't
just
think
hit
he made
him.
that move in time, and Jeff Wright just trying to avoid it.
He just didn't know where they were going to go, but definitely a mistake on Banks' part. You saw he had a big run, and he tried to pull to the inside to make that move so he could pass the 87, but maybe before the entry to 3, but he just misjudges that move ever so slightly. So he goes for it and just hits him in the left rear of the bumper, and nothing Justin Michael did wrong there, just a mistake on Banks' part, and unfortunately, we've seen that a lot from Banks.
On board with Jeff Wright. One more look at it.
It's really our second crash that hasn't brought out a yellow. We've had a lot of those. As unfortunately, the pole sitter is going to be probably out of this race. Whoa.
In and out of the throttle several times there for Jeff Wright.
And as this run's gotten longer, we're about 25 laps into a run. We're starting to see those front 5 really gravitate towards the top of the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. We'll see if they run the top in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2, they are about a lane off the wall only right now. Lehman's going to run up there, yeah. Stravato's going to forget the clean air to the bottom, but you got McWhorter, Cabot all the way to the top. Telenoff kind of in the middle, so he's running really the most different line. But you saw that inside line just did not work for Stravato, so that top line already looks really good.
As it kind of single files out, spreads out in the top 10, it's still pretty tight back here around the 20th position. Here's the 9 of Brian Chambliss, who's down 5 spots, but still kind of on that opposite end of this run. I think a lot of these drivers that fell out of the top 10 or top 15, maybe based off qualifying, maybe they just have that long run pace. They're not pushing the issue too hard, and it's very easy, especially at a track like this, you get a false sense of grip for those first few laps. With the track temperature this high, it's very easy to go out there and burn your stuff off in 10 to 15 laps, and we've already seen that tonight.
I think if you're gearing up for the long run, you got to start going, because I just don't know if you can make it to lap 50 on a tank of fuel. So that would put your pit stop at around probably a lap 33 if you're going to one stop on strategy, trying to split it. Could just stretch your fuel drive. We'll wait and see what the fuel is, because we're not 100% sure what it is. We've seen fuel mileage come into play plenty of times. We've seen Bailey Turner probably get the victory here at Auto Club. Case Lakatos has come close to victory on fuel here, and I believe either this league or separate leagues at Auto Club. So we'll just have to wait and see what comes of that. But point still stands. If you have a long run car and you're trying to save the tires, you got to start pushing them at some point. It doesn't matter if you can save the tires well if you never use them.
Way up near the wall, it's Noah Mahalski. Kind of thinking that Darlington line to try to stay ahead of Jeff Wright. Works his way up to the 8th position. Has since stalled out. He has about half a second to Chad Klinger, J.R. Shepard, and it's about 3 seconds up to James Lehman, who's starting to get challenged. AJ Stravato, who's been committed to this bottom line, he's going to get the nose inside of the 05 coming off of 4.
Yeah, you just see how much better his tires are, even on that bottom line. He still got a really good run off the corner, and I think it took longer than I thought it would, but I think we're finally seeing Lehman's tires fade a little bit here. McWhorter's actually come back to life. I thought he wore his stuff out, but he might have just backed off even more, and now he's ran down both of these drivers, and it's really just a race to see who gets by the 0-5 first between these two. Oh, good run for Stravato here.
He'll carry that run to the bottom of the racetrack. He's done it better than anyone else in the top three, taking it to the low lane in 3 and 4. It's very slippery down there. That's why a lot of drivers choose not to run it, but Stravato able to get away with it. He'll slide up in front of the 05. And McWhorter is going to make contact for second.
Yeah, he just slid a little bit too much up. I think he got aero tight behind the 33, and also he just didn't want to get stuck behind Lehman while Stravato pulled away. So just overdrove back to the 4. I don't think any damage are on those two cars right now, though.
M&J going to take another shot at it.
This is where Lehman's going to start to struggle because now he's in dirty air. He's got to get aero tight with the right rear kind of worn off. He's really going to be starting to struggle here. This is when he's going to start to fade. But still, once again, those tires held on a lot longer than I thought they would, as this should be a good move for second for McWhorter.
Slide up again. This time really close to the outside wall. He didn't get very good of a run that we saw Stravato get. He'll choose the outside in 1 and 2, but James Lehman going to cross him over across the front stretch.
Yeah, McWhorter, he got through 3 pretty well. He overdrove 4 once again, though, slid really hard out of the corner. And once again, the 05's able to get away. And this is what's going to be frustrating because he knows he's faster than Lehman, but just by getting that clean air first, Stravato's starting to really pull away. You can see how much this field's spread out now. He's got all that battling within the top 10 or so. It's kind of spread the top 20 out. Battle for 14th. Seth Hatchell back in the series. He's battling Elliott Butler. And 3 wide back here. Eldon Stewart, new name to the series. Case Lacadas, Chris Hodges, and Angel Horonis back here. Would not have expected Horonis to be back here at this point in the race, but he's kind of struggling right now.
The 29 car back to where he started in 24th position. Green flag pit stops coming up very soon. Probably within the next 2 to 5 laps, we're going to see cars start peeling down. Not sure how far these guys will try to stretch this run, but it's pretty much decided. Whoa. It's a 2-stop race as we have contact for the top 5. Whoa. James Lehman, Adam Cabot, and Andrew Telganoff get into each other.
Telganoff's done a good job saving his tires. It got sketchy. McWhorter pulled the slide job. Lehman tried to cross him over, but Cabot had the run on all 3 of them, and there was contact between all 3 of them, and Telganoff tried to pick up the pieces. Now Cabot tried to slide job, and he couldn't make it work. Telganoff's going to push that 73 on through. Oh, wow. He almost turned him across Adam Cabot's nose. That was tight.
Is this for the lead?
Oh, crash at the back. Justin Carey, 21 car spinning.
The grass will not bring out a caution.
Tim Shinosky down there with him. Another crash with no yellow. Ooh, that's Rob Hamp in the wall, and just kind of chain reaction. He cuts across the 07 to avoid it, and unfortunately spins himself. Don't think he got damage. Oh, Chim Shinosky crashed after getting back through the grass, though. He's got big damage after that.
But he had a problem after the fact.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's really odd. It's like he gassed up getting out of the grass and then just lost it. But he was fine without that, but now his day's probably done.
Caution free so far with 4 lead changes. AJ Stravato has the lead, and we're still sliding around back here with the 05 of James Lehman sideways out of 2.
Yeah, those tires aren't happy with him. If he can't make it on a 1-stop, he should probably pit right now. Just get the jump on everyone. But he's going to stick to the outside lane and just try to try to stay out as long as he possibly can.
Chad Klinger rebounding now. Up 4 spots, starting to show pace in the long run. Last time by this car on the racetrack was Chad Klinger with a 44.649. Jeff Wright right next to him.
And we got pit stop starting. Lap 32, lap 33. This is pretty much when you'd expect drivers to start pitting if they're 2-stopping. Mahalski's first driver to really pit. Chris Hodges, Matt Shinosky's in. He passed Tim Shinosky, who's destroyed, and also I think Brian Dean was back there. So first bit of pit stops happening.
Travato going to stay out. Any other takers in the back of the field? Not in the top 10. Looks like maybe back here.
Dakota Floyd.
Dakota Floyd.
Yeah, he brought a lot of drivers in. 11th place. This would probably make a lot of those drivers in the top 10 react to this. Floyd, Kibbe, Ray Massey, Elliott Butler. I think Max Cost is back there as well. Ben Laughter, also Rob Hamp. This should, a lot of those drivers in the top 10, I think they'll react to this one.
The service here, going to get 4 fresh ones. Going to fill up with fuel. And it sounds like Travato making the call to come into pit. No, he's just sliding around.
Telganoff, runner-up's going to pit. Here comes Klinger, Cabot. Here comes the 05. Really squirrely, but he makes it in. And once again, we've been talking about that tire fall-off with a track temp at 130 with a worn-out racetrack to boot. AJ Stravato's fall-off is 2.5 seconds right now, so whether you can make it on a one-stop or not, that extra stop looks really good when the fall-off is as high as it is. So we'll see if Stravato can maintain the lead by staying out a lap longer. I'd be shocked if he can.
I mean, he had a pretty sizable lead. He's kind of dictating the pace of this group pitting. He might be waiting for the rest of them to come down. I don't know. He seems to be able to stretch it another lap here. But fresh tires for the 03. He was one of the first to come in on this scheduled green flag stop. Caution free so far on lap 36. 03, Mahalski will get his lap back as looks like the 33 is going to put a couple cars a lap down here.
Yeah, and if you're some of those drivers pitting earlier, you do not want that yellow as James Lehman exits the pits. Could not see. Maybe he sped it or something. It looked like he went multiple laps down, but I'm not quite sure off the top of my head. But, you know, the advantage of this for Stravato is if he can, you know, pull off this overcut and not lose too much time, he'll have really fresh tires for this middle portion of the race.
I think it's going to be
here
this
it comes.
time.
Yeah. Do not speed. He's a really deep entrance, but he'll be good. Here comes Jeff Wright. Philip Brewer's in, 44 car. Seth Hatchell's in. Another one following. Caleb Weekly. Eldon Stewart. Let me guess, is Bailey Turner going to try to save fuel and stay out there longer?
No, that doesn't sound like something he would do.
Nah, it's not like him. He races straight up.
I mean, he's a little bit off the pace here this evening. He's been outside the top 10 for a lot of it, but now up 15 spots. He can play the strategy. That works too. I mean, you can make this 2-3 laps advantage over the rest of the field. It could help you catapult into that top 10 and be there at the end. How many times have we seen that with the 24 where he was not talked about at all, and then suddenly we got 5 to go. He's up there.
He's done it at the short tracks. He's done it at the big tracks, so I don't doubt it by any means. Just don't know what that fuel tank is looking like. As Joseph McWhorter thought maybe he would do it. He just wanted the overcut strategy. He ended up pitting. Bryce Shoemaker's in, so not too many drivers yet to pit here. Really, most drivers in that top 10 have not pit. McWhorter is currently pitting, so maybe about a quarter of the drivers in this race still have yet to pit, all the way back to Justin Carey, who had that spin.
Right now, we still have Bailey Turner, Chuck Sweeting, Chambliss, Lakatos, Jones, Wallace, and Ritchie. Justin Carey also out there on the racetrack. I think these guys just praying for a yellow. The 8 goes by on the outside.
All these drivers getting their lap back. This is the most dangerous part of the race when you have all these differing strategies right now. You know, just trying to figure out where that slower traffic's going and where to get around them cleanly and stuff like that. And I don't know if Turner's saving fuel. He's not clutching the car, but, you know, going this long, considering where he was, you can only imagine he's definitely trying something. He's got his thinking cap on.
I don't know, man. It's 34 laps. That seems like it's impossible to make it one stop.
Paying attention, Brandon Wallace was all over the place on pit road. I think he missed his stall and then had to back into it. Saw someone in the race I called with Morgan last night. Someone got DQ'd for backing up on pit road like we saw in the MRL 500. The only difference was they were able to un-DQ that person in that race. It's Turner continues to go around the track, so it looks like roughly top 5 haven't pit yet. I don't believe Justin Ritchie or Justin Carey have pit. Noah Mahalski was really the first driver to pit, so technically right now he would cycle to the race lead, but he's got Andrew Telganoff right on his bumper with Chad Klinger, and I'm sure AJ Stravato won't be too far behind. You know, if you could save the fuel, I mean, look at the gap he has of those guys who have pit. He's got 26 seconds to Noah Mahalski, so think about that. If he was to make it on lap 50 and try to save the fuel to make it there, he has about 25 seconds to try to back this thing up. So, you know, if he can make that fuel number work, it's not impossible. And you're not going to lose too much time saving fuel because the fall-off is so great, you can probably run the same lap time on the clutch pedal or just saving fuel if you weren't saving, compared to if you weren't saving fuel. So, I don't know if he'll get on the clutch pedal. I still haven't seen him do that, but either way, certainly something to try, as I don't think that's normal.
I think Banks might have had a Cabot moment here tonight.
I gotta look at his stream now. Make sure he's not upside down on the stream.
I think he is. I think he's using a virtual cam, so I think he might be.
I don't see him live. That's interesting. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah. Well, Banksy, just so you know.
Hang in there.
Yeah, hang in there, buddy.
Not the day he's wanted, though. I mean, that damage has really hurt him, and he's not going to get a chance to repair it for a while. I mean, even that little right front damage is really going to hurt the overall speed of the car in the corners, down the straightaways. It's one of the worst tracks you can have that type of damage.
Chuck Sweeting also on this long strategy, as is Brian Chambliss. Some cars that you mentioned would play the strategy with the fuel mileage. Auto Club notorious for that. Michigan, Pocono, those are the big tracks that, you know, fuel always comes into play, as it looks like the 75 of Chuck Sweeting trying to navigate the pit road this time around.
Well, looks like Chambliss is following him, so if Turner wants to make it halfway, he's got really 7 laps left to make that work. Lakatos is on the same strategy, it seems, but he's 5.5 seconds back. It's way further back to Jones, Ritchie. And Noah Mahalski actually just lost that spot to Telganoff, so technically Telganoff would still cycle out to the lead right now. James Lehman's trying to get by all of them.
James Lehman, bad fast in the short run. First 15 laps proved that he could do it. It was the other 15 or so laps that he started to struggle. The car was a complete handful, but that high line seems to be the asterisk, the catalyst, if you will, burning off that right rear.
And Turner not going to make that work, so they're just getting fresher tires, I suppose. Turner's in. Looks like Lakatos is going to be in, which makes me think they stretch it as far as they could go, so about 44 laps on the tank. If that comes into play, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Michael Jones going to continue on going. Really haven't been monitoring if he's trying to clutch and coast. Doesn't seem to be the case. If you were saving from the start, maybe you could have saved 6 laps per run. I just can't do that in the middle.
He's on the clutch pedal. Not sure if he's been doing that this entire run or not. Watch again here. Watch the RPMs on the left-hand side.
Quite on the clutch.
That time. In the 1, he was definitely on, but I think he's coming down this time, maybe.
Looks like it, yep. So Ritchie's really the last man standing, and looks like he's going to pit. So no one-stoppers today. The 2 stoppers prevail, and the battle for the lead is now formerly just James Lehman, got past Andrew Telganoff to cycle out. Mahalski and Chad Klinger battling for 3rd, and AJ Stravato, who kind of dominated at the end of that long run before pit stops, back to 5th with the freshest tires, as there was contact for that runner-up spot.
Yeah, Mahalski's got about 2 or 3 lap older tires than these guys getting by on the outside, and with the fall-off being over 3 seconds, that's an eternity. 2 laps, that's probably half a second of fall-off, roughly, that Mahalski's had to deal with now.
And he's definitely going to be in the toughest spot once he has to pit for the second time. He pit on lap 33. Stravato, for example, he pit about 5 laps later on lap 37, so really 4 laps later. James Lehman, one of those drivers who pit on lap 36 or 35, so his tires are kind of in the middle, but every lap makes a difference at a track this worn out.
Last pit laps on the left-hand side of your screen. Travato and Jeff Wright, 38. The pit lap, where you had Bailey Turner come down at about lap 43, and 2 more cars coming down around lap 45. So nobody going to be able to make it in one stop here this evening as we approach the halfway mark. What do you say here, Connor? We've cycled through our green flag pit stops. I think it's time to get a little bit louder. Find the volume knobs.
Better do it before that 33 gets the lead.
Let's get loud, presented by FireStorm Racing. Loud, presented by FireStorm Racing, and James Lehman starting to bleed those positions again. This time a little sooner. It is 15 laps. It's about the mark. We have problems on the backstretch. I think McWhorter got into the 98.
He might have toward him. I was looking at Lehman. It's just some reason bump drafting drivers just does not work in these O'Reilly cars. He bump drafted to 09 to actually put Lehman in the wall, so he lost third to Telganoff. He might lose fourth to Jeff Wright. You see it right here. A little bit uneven, a little bit squirrely, and puts him in the wall. Doesn't really make sense, but that's how the car is. We are getting updates to this car soon. There might be some aero updates to this O'Reilly car. It feels like a car that hasn't been updated in 6 years, it feels like. Still races well as we're seeing today, but it's overdue for a setup change or a aero change. By the way, didn't know, excuse me, Bradley, just didn't know when we were looking at Banks, he's actually a lap down because he got a pit road penalty, so absolutely nothing going his way.
Insult to injury here. Upside down camera, upside down on pit road, and had problems there through the grass at one point. Contact. The 35 car down the racetrack with the 87 of
Justin Michael.
Bill Sitter is actually retired tonight. AJ Stravato takes over the lead. A little bit different approach this stint compared to the last one, but proving that he has the goods to beat, and we know that Stravato's fast here. He's very fast at these 2-mile racetracks. I believe it was season 1 or 2 where Stravato almost had a victory at Michigan and made a mistake coming off of turn 4 that ruined that race for him.
It's been a while since he's gone to victory lane. It hasn't gone, I don't remember last time he went to victory lane in this car. I think it was Indianapolis, so another really big track. That was his last victory in this series in this car. That was back September, a year and a half ago. His last win in this series overall was at Mosport in Canada on the road course. That was March of last year, so it's been almost a full calendar year since he's gone to victory lane, and this is as fast as he's been in a long time.
Staying grouped up back here deep in the field, though. Reggie Ortega in a battle for 19th position, just got by. Max Cost up 2 spots now, but 15 gain for Reggie Ortega and Stefan Davis in the 60. So right now, 2 big movers, but we talked about it so many times last season. He said if he didn't take a time, he would have started back at 31st, but he did, and like in good fashion, Kenny Kibbe is now just outside the top 10.
And he's also very, very fast as well. He did the short pit a little bit as well. He pit lap 34, so a little earlier, but his times still look really good. They're comparable to Stravato, who pit about 4 laps after him. And to be only 4 seconds behind a race leader after starting 31st in a race that's gone fully green, it shows how much speed he has today, and easily could get a top 10. If he gets a yellow, I think he could definitely be a threat for the win with the pace that he's showing. Bailey Turner, he's trying to get back through the field. He pit before green flag pit stop started. He was 13th. He went as long as almost anyone. He fell back to about 28th. He's back up to 22nd, and if he were to get back to 13th, he'd have to gain about 8 more seconds to get to Elliott Butler. So see if this works out, but it was definitely odd to try.
Yeah, and I don't expect him, because he knows it's not going to work in a one-stop race, to go that much further than the rest of these drivers that are ahead of him right now.
Excuse me, 3 wide for third, or up ahead.
Jeff Wright, McWhorter, and Klinger, but like I was mentioning there, I don't expect Bailey to go as far as he did on this next stop. I think maybe 2 or 3 laps of an overcut, but I wouldn't push it any more than that. Otherwise, you risk losing all that ground you make up on this run.
Maybe he tries a shorter fuel load in the final stop, maybe 2 tires. I wouldn't see that working, but I guess he figured he wasn't running top 10, might as well try something, maybe catch a yellow, just wasn't able to get it. As this battle between former champions and former winners here, pretty tight. Neither driver letting the other one go, and, you know, dare I say, Telganov's actually pulling away from this group a little bit. He was about a 10th faster than Stravato last lap.
They go back-to-back, winner at Daytona, about half a second back from A.J. Stravato. It'll be around lap 66 where that second pit window will open up here this evening. So we're right on board with Chad Klinger in the 09.
Just don't think he can hold off the 48. And I don't know if McWhorter is going to be able to hold off the 48, although he was faster last time by. But Jeff Wright has such a big run off of turn number 4, up to 190 miles an hour into the corner. Just about 192, almost got there, as you're starting to see, once again, just like the previous run, this run goes longer and longer. The groove gets higher and higher for these drivers. We slide.
In this battle for position, a lot of dirty air, less than 2 tenths separating these cars. And they're all looking for different lines. You can see the bottom for Klinger, the middle for Wright, and the top side for McWhorter. McWhorter's got a little bit of dirty air from the 3 of Telganov, but Jeff Wright not able to make that inside middle work, and he will not get to the inside of the 73. Another lap by for 59.
Adam Cabot still running well. He's in the top 10, but probably not as fast as maybe he would anticipate of himself. Actually in a battle with Mahalski, who kind of short pitted. He's still been hanging on to a decent running in the top 10, but Cabot probably a little further back than he would want to be. Philip Brewer trying to get that 9th position away, so Mahalski really starting to drop. And Kenny Kibbe not too far away from this lead pack, just like we mentioned. Really impressive he's been able to get through the field like this.
2 of these drivers that were battling just a moment ago, the 44 Philip Brewer, champion of the Challenger Series, and Noah Mahalski, who has some victories over there in the Challenger. But watching kind of the tail end of the top 10 fight amongst themselves, well branched off, almost 3 full seconds to A.J. Stravato. Telganov last time by about 0.04 of a second faster than Stravato, and he's continuing that trend down the backstretch.
He's been reeling them in just a little bit each and every lap. You would think at some point that dirty air, if he can't switch lanes compared to the 33, make it harder. He actually hit the wall on entry, really missed the corner, so he'll probably drop back a little bit, unless he can kind of use that wall to get a run out of turn 4. One thing, you know, if this keeps going fully green, what could come into play is lap traffic. They're about maybe half the front tri-oval away from about 4 lap cars. Nathan Ferrata's back there. He's 3 laps down after repairing damage. You got Richie, Wallace, Michael Jones battling for 34th. So, you know, after another round of pit stops, you might see more lap cars come into play. And even though he did hit the wall, that 3 was faster last time.
And looks like Dakota Floyd going to start this cycle at lap 61.
Ooh, that's early.
A little
That is-
undercut here.
That is a little early. He pit pretty much on cycle. He came down to pit lap 34, and this is, you know, definitely a little bit early. Can make it on fuel from here for sure, but definitely earlier than I would anticipate. As one of those guys who pit late, Bailey Turner, he's actually just moved up to the 15th position past Angelo Horonis, so he's only about 3 seconds away from getting back to where he pit from, or when the pit cycle started.
Take a look here on our blimp camera. You can see how spread out this field is all the way around. We've got cars around 2 miles of oval here in Fontana.
The world's biggest conveyor belt today.
Yeah. It's a shame this facility doesn't exist anymore. What a fantastic place to race. We saw a lot of iconic finishes, and a lot of drivers describing it as one of the best racetracks to be on.
Whoa.
We've seen a great product here with the 3 of Telganov going to the outside, trying to fake out Servato.
Talk about Servato's pace. Don't know if it's falling off all of a sudden or Telganov just found another gear. He got a great run off of 4, but that 33 kind of threw a little to the block trying to protect the right rear quarter panel, and now it's on.
It'll be a 3-way battle if they do that again.
Yeah, McWhorter's not going to wait around for that one for sure.
A little bit of dirty air from the 33. I'd say Telganov's just faster. I mean, he's been reeling him in from over a second for the last 15 laps.
Oh, here comes James Lehman. That's lap 63 pit for him. It's also a little early for someone who's been wearing the tires off, but that's really the first driver from this lead group to come down the pit. We'll see if that makes anyone react. And the only thing I could think of with Stravato's pace is that maybe he drove too hard trying to get back through those drivers who short pit, maybe wore the tires off in dirtier air. He just does not look as strong off the corner right now.
Warner looking to the inside now of the 3 car. I think Stravato maybe holding up these guys a little bit. There's a move to the inside from Fresh Tires. That's Dakota Floyd, and the 3 car didn't even know he was there.
Yeah, he just came way down the track. Floyd's got to hang on to it. He does, but really came over the kind of a transition there. That's going to kill his short pit completely.
Not going to send any Christmas cards to the 3 team this year.
And Telganov lost second because of that. I don't know if he got loose or he scraped the wall, but he just came way down the track and body slammed the 57.
That ends up losing a little bit of ground for Telganov after that incident. I want to say that he got loose. I think he's been sliding out of these corners for a couple laps now.
And no doubt he was driving hard, trying to get the 33. Saw the lead right in front of him right before the final cycle of pit stops. Just couldn't quite get it. Now it's McWhorter's turn maybe to try to get that 33, but that might be the break Stravato got because he's looking pretty good right now. Got away from McWhorter the last couple of corners. As Floyd now he's going to get his lap back a few laps late.
James Lehman still on fresher tires there to the inside.
Yeah, Lehman, he's going to use those fresh tires to advantage. Looks like Klinger 09 just could not get by Telganov there. Bailey Turner just got to Elliott Butler for 13th. Looks like, is that Adam Cabot pitting? No, that's Kenny Kibbe pitting, but it was Cabot pitting. So Cabot and Kenny Kibbe pitting. Another pair of drivers who are really, really fast. I like this call from Kibbe. Oh, not if you missed your stall. Oh, I guess he made it. I thought he missed his stall. That was probably as close as you could get.
Yeah.
It was Brian Dean. pitting. Haven't talked about him a lot.
And a battle here between Chuck Sweeting going by on the outside of Max Kost. Remember, Sweeting went a little bit further on the run than everybody else. That matched what the 24 Bailey Turner had done in that last stint.
And I will give Bailey Turner credit, right? Really, he got back to pretty much where he was before the first cycle started, so it really hasn't worked out too badly for him. Elliott Butler just came down to pit. That's the driver Bailey Turner just passed. We're right around when that cycle, the floodgates on pit road are about to open up big time.
It's on board with Bryce Shoemaker in the 54, running in 22nd spot. He's also on a little bit different strategy than these cars around him. He has gained some time on this top 20, but Casey Lakatos has about 5-6 lap fresher tires pulling away. 1.7 seconds.
J.R. Shepard, 6th place. He came down the pit. Seth Hatchell from 9th. Ray Massey from 10th. This is definitely when the floodgates are opening. Those guys a little further back having a short pit, trying to catch up to the leaders. Chuck Sweeting's actually going to short pit. He's on the pit road. Would think at least one of those guys within that pack of 5 are going to probably come down to pit. Maybe even Philip Brewer, because he's kind of lost touch with those 5.
Shepard, Hatchell, Sweeting, Massey, Belke down and away for the 89. Heavily damaged here to start the day off and hasn't had the opportunity to repair any of that damage. Caution free so far. 69 laps in. The battle for the lead still on your screen now. Top 7. Put the 44 Philip Brewer in that mix as well. He's only a second out from these guys.
Was fading off him the last few laps. He was faster last lap, but he had been fading a little bit off really the draft. But McWhorter kind of showing some muscle at the very end of these tires' life, right on the bumper of Stravado. Remember, Stravado last time overcut, wore his stuff out maybe a little bit, trying to get back through him. So, you know, maybe he employs a different strategy, takes to track position. We'll see here. It definitely doesn't look like he's pitting this lap. Here comes Jeff Wright.
And the 48 now down pit road.
I like this call. He really hasn't been able to get clean air if he didn't speed.
That was a close call. I think he's okay.
That's a great entry if he can pull it off, and I like this call. He hasn't had clean air all day. Maybe trying to steal the lead away and hold on at the end. Here comes Aronis, Cost, Weekly, Laughter, Shoemaker, Keith Shoemaker, Bryce Shoemaker. There's 2 in the field. Don't forget about there's 2.
So this is the part of the race where you absolutely have to execute. It is stay green all the way through, and you do not have that caution to fall back on. You have the 73 breathing down your neck, though. You've got to execute.
Can't get lost in the battle here, though. They could end up battling side by side with each other, and by the time they're done battling, you could have seen everyone else behind them already pit, and they've lost out. They got to be aware, not get caught up in this battle for the lead. This is not the battle for the win quite yet.
Jeff Wright going to come back out on the racetrack just ahead of these cars.
That was a really good cycle. We've been seeing a lot of drivers actually get lapped after taking that pit stop. Jeff Wright was able to stay lead lap, so that's a huge deal for him, I would say.
Yeah. You run the risk of getting pinned a lap down if a caution comes out. Too many of these other drivers get pinned a lap down ahead of you. Jeff Wright should be able to pull away from this lead pack as the 3 of Telganov calling pits.
I almost thought Stravado was trying to pull an audible and pit from the top lane. That's just the line he wanted to run. He entered the corner so slow, but he did that kind of a chop to clean air of the 73, and it worked. He got a good run off the corner and kind of stunted the 73's momentum.
Telganov showing some really good speed, and you know, how many times have we seen a new winner at Daytona and then they turn around the next week and throw it all away and have a bad finish? I myself am guilty of that. So, you know, you can't always judge who's going to be fast and good in the season based off of week 1. Telganov proven that he can get it done at other places.
Here comes Chad Klinger, another front runner coming in.
Oh, 88 sideways. No, he was going for a stall. Man, that was an entry. Might come down a little bit closer to the inside wall if you know that stall's that close. Klinger Cycling through, there's Bailey Turner in the third now. How much further do you want to push this run in the 24? I think maybe committing to a possible caution at this point. Don't see it working out. Chad Klinger got speeding on pit road. It's a shame. 09 definitely had a top 5 going. This is the window. 33 and 73 down the pit. And locking it up. No penalties here. Looks like my Discord spazzing out here tonight, so we'll try to get that sorted out. It's not the first time that's happened here, so we'll try to get that fixed for you as soon as possible. To get back into the broadcast booth. Connor Horn having some issues here. Probably me, Connor. Probably not you, buddy. Been having this issue for a while. You back with me? Looks like his is still having a little bit of an issue. Got the mic muted, trying to sort this out. We just saw that cycle for the last pit stop of the evening for a lot of these drivers. James Lehman pitted 11 laps ago. Working his way, he's got Adam Cabot behind, who pitted 8 laps ago. Dakota Floyd, who tried to make the undercut and gain some spots. Jeff Wright, who just executed perfectly in pit lane. He gets ahead of a lot of these guys like Andrew Talmanoff and the 33, the 73, McWhorter. Looks like AJ Stravato came out even a little bit further behind McWhorter after this cycle.
Yeah, the action on pit road got so tight, Discord couldn't handle it, or maybe it was my internet, but really, it wasn't really a bad pit entry from Stravato. The pit stop, maybe the RNG didn't go his way. McWhorter just got out of his pit box quicker, and he was able to get that position away from the 73. So really key moment in the race as Jeff Wright just passed Kenny Kibbe for what would I believe cycle out to be maybe the 3rd position. James Lehman and Adam Cabot are still a little bit further up the road. As well as Bailey Turner, of course, who is at the pit.
Maybe 24 laps to go here from Auto.
Oh, crash! Crash turn 4. It's Michael Jones, and that changes everything.
Caution is out, and that resets the cycle. Bailey Turner looks like a genius again.
McWhorter was in that one. He's got left front damage. That was right in front of the 73. Oh my gosh, Bailey Turner gets a gift.
I think maybe the Coca-Cola scheme has something to do with it. It's Coke drivers, you know how they are.
He just came up. Keith Shoemaker got to the outside. Massey went to the inside. He gave Massey probably too much room, and you saw right there, 73 McWhorter just had nowhere to go to avoid it. Tough pill to swallow. Michael Jones obviously not having the best of races. He was, I believe, yet the pit, or he actually short pit, so he had much older tires, I believe. Strategy gets interesting because Turner's
in the grass there.
Yeah, he had to go to the grass to avoid it. I don't think he got much damage out of it. Just had to go to grass to avoid the 23. Did a good job dirt tracking that thing, not getting damage.
But how about that gift for Bailey Turner?
Could still see strategy play out where people might not pit because they just took tires, but I think the tires wear out so much you kind of have to stay out, or you have to pit, excuse me. So everyone's going to have to take tires here. Telgenoff, Chad Klinger, they actually did not decide to take tires. So the 3 and the 09, they're going to save a set. They're going to stay out.
For the 09, I could see why. You got that penalty on pit road, and the 3 of Mahalski gonna work up to the 2nd position after staying out. AJ Stravado, of course, coming in. Do we see any two-tire calls here?
Didn't look like it. He's just such a huge advantage for Bailey Turner. He did not really have to drive in the pit box hard. He just had such a gap because of lap traffic that separated him from the rest of the field at that point. And this is the yellow I think Kenny Kibbe needed, because now he's got the advantage. And with how much speed he's had to get through the field the way he has, he's going to be, I believe, 6th on fresh tires. So he's going to be in a great spot. As far as McWhorter goes, that's just kind of how things have gone for him in this series since the championship.
Don't go anywhere. We have more coverage to continue. About 20 laps left here at Auto Club. You're watching the Saturday Night Racing League live on VSPEED. More coverage right after this.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Welcome back here live at California and Auto Club Speedway, where we've got some old tires, some fresh ones, and some guys on different strategies. But Andrew Telganoff stayed out, had about 5-6 laps on the stint before that caution. Can he hold on to the lead, though, with Jeff Wright on 4 fresh ones diving to the inside? What a difference 4 tires has made. Look at these cars moving through the field.
Couldn't quite clear him, knowing Telganoff's going to have the run off the top part of the racetrack. Lehman might decide who gets the lead here. He's actually going to shove the 48th a little bit. Not a good restart for AJ Stravado. He got the boot from Elliott Butler, and he's lost a few positions.
And it was Bailey Turner who was kind of gifted this situation. Up to the top 5 now. Was running in around 13th, 14th spot through the cycles and had stretched this run out as far as it could go in the first stint. It paid off.
Jared Shepard with an elevator move to get to the bottom. Didn't really kind of stunted his momentum doing it. Has not been the greatest of restarts. Thought Kibbe might be better to short run, but he hasn't really gone anywhere as Jeff Wright. Now he's got the lead from James Lehman. They both passed Telganoff that last lap.
Kibbe stuck in a traffic jam here. He's going to get around Noah Mahalski. Mahalski has about 10 lap older tires than the rest of this field. Mahalski trapped up on the outside. The side-by-side here for 6th spot. Kibbe on the inside of Cabot. 44, car in the wall. That's the 6 bouncing off of it.
And that was, I think, maybe a little bit of payback from the 33 of Stravado. Kind of booted him there. Somehow everyone kept it straight. Butler's got damage.
Look who's there on the inside for 15th.
Door banging Kibbe, and Adam Cabot had a little bit of contact there. This is going to be interesting. We haven't really seen Jeff Wright have the short front pace all day, but we've definitely seen it from James Lehman, but Lehman just can't quite do anything right now.
This fits right in the wheelhouse for the 05. He's about 15 laps.
Oh,
so
yellow.
He can run it wide open, and we got a car in the back. Believe that's the
Lakatos.
50 of Lakatos, the 18 of Hamp. Lakatos got a black flag here.
That was on the entrance to turn 1. That was an odd spot to crash.
Just came down on him.
And then Rob Hamp just came together. Oh, man. How fortunate they were not to hit the end of the pit wall there. This was near the back. Rob Hamp's been multiple laps down. Lakatos back in 30th.
The 18 actually comes up from this angle. It looks like Hamp comes up the left rear.
The seams on the track tell the story. Lakatos pretty much holding his line. Hamp coming up the track, thinking Lakatos will probably track out to get the arc into a corner more, and he just didn't do that. So that was setting up to be interesting. It was, I think, setting up for Elliott Butler to wreck Travato. Saw them make contact out of 2 on the initial start, and I think once there was that scramble down the back straightaway, I think that was, because Travato's been dominating this race. I think that was him. There was a little maybe check up there, but I think that was him just taking out some frustration because he's all the way back in 12th now after he's really been the car to beat. It didn't look like
come down about 10 degrees from the beginning of this race, so that's probably helping these guys a little bit on those older tires as well.
And that outside line's not going to be utilized as much because of that. Not only because the track's getting cooler, but we're on fresher tires, and we're not going to see the crazy fall off in about 15, 20 laps of tire wear to where that outside line's going to be as dominant as it seemed to be. So it's going to be probably even harder to pass the further we go.
These 2 cautions coming within the last 30 laps to go. 11 lead changes here this evening, and most of those happening during green flag pit stops. We've had 2 cycles of those. The car's faking pit road with a 24. Nope. Talking off, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was a 3. The 24 would have surprised me, but talking off, I wouldn't blame him if he came down and got 4 fresh ones. I think he could race his way back up to the top 10. Be a lot, but I think he could do it.
We'll see if Mahalski can do it. He pit from 10th after having the older tires. And then the next driver to come down was Stephen Davis back in 21st position. Those drivers who took the wave around are fortunate. That gets them back in contention. I think Joshua Banks is actually, he did not take the wave, so he's not back lead lap. So I believe Lucky Dog went to Chad Klinger, so we'll see if he can get back into this race, possibly.
Roger Lavick, Joshua Banks, Keith Shoemaker a lap down. Lavick, the next lucky pass recipient. Chad Klinger going to be in 34th place. Get a few cars off the racetrack with Ryan Carlisle, Justin Michael, Tim Shadnowski also off the track. Then the black flag for Rob Hamp. I believe Rob Hamp going to get the EOL penalty, so he's 10 laps down now. Ray Massey also some laps down. He was part of that first caution. Nathan Ferrata, he's had damage pretty much from the start of this race. And then Joshua Banks, who got damage in one of those wrecks that didn't bring out a yellow. 35 has been off the pace ever since.
Yeah, Ferrata was in the crash with Ryan Carlisle. That's why Carlisle will finish dead last, 43rd place. Shamar pole sitter led a lap, but Justin Michael, that contact he had with Banks, put him out of the race. That down in 42nd. So roughly 3 cars out of the race. Hamp's still running, Massey, Ferrata, all those drivers still running, but that attrition rate can pick up rather quickly with as chaotic of a finish as we're about to get, as it should be the 1 to green. Looks like Jeff Wright looks to be choosing the outside line, so he'll get the jump, and Telknoff will like that because he can get the jump from the back of the 48.
They're going to be interesting here, and watching with Andrew Toganoff, this is still a solid week. You get the race win at Daytona, you come out here and finish in the top 10, your points still look good, and if he can put it together again next week at Phoenix, I mean, he's off to a great start. I'm starting to believe in what the 3 car could do. He's kind of the underdog in this top 10 as far as iRating goes, so don't always go with the stats on that, but I think it's still an interesting statistic nonetheless.
Interesting for sure. I just don't know if anyone's going to beat the 48 at this point. You know, he's got 2 wins here, but he is kind of owed one. We go back to season 4, how he pretty much had that one wrapped up. Late yellow comes out. Bailey Turner, that golden horseshoe, kind of reared its ugly head to Jeff Wright. He ended up second, but he had that race won. He did get back to victory lane, got redemption last season, so maybe double redemption for him this season. He's led the most laps in the last 2 races here. Not gonna actually last 3 races here, actually, so not gonna be able to do that today, but he's in prime position right now.
Race car's off with just over 10 laps to go. 13 when they cross the line. Jeff Wright on the outside. Little bit of wheel spin there from the 3, but the 24
Oh, crash.
back in the pack.
Car's
Careless
all over the
around.
place. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I don't know. It looked like either he missed a shift or something happened. This car's everywhere. Oh, Brian Dean just came up the track and hit him. Ruddervac Lavix crashed in turn 1. I don't know why he crashed, but still no yellow for all that. And it's a 3-wide scramble for the lead with Bailey Turner looking to be inside, but he couldn't quite keep it down there. That was chaotic.
Time and time again, I'm never surprised to see that 24 in contention for a race win towards the closing laps. 12 to go, crossing the stripe. Lehman gets to the inside. He's going to get ahead of Bailey Turner just enough here into 1. He's going to go for the lead.
J.R. Shepard made a mistake. He kind of got hit by Kenny Kibbe, actually. He didn't make a mistake. Kibbe doored him, put him in the grass. Lehman's got that big run to the bottom, tried to hold it, and that's going to give Turner a run out of turn 2 on both of them.
And the positions gained for Kenny Kibbe now 27 as he's trying to work up to 4th.
Oh, big dive to the inside from Lehman. Just trying to get that left rear, maybe tighten up the 48, maybe force him into a mistake, but they're both driving 110%, but 48's got more grip. Oh, little contact. Cabot and Telganoff.
It's not the first time we've seen that from the 3 and the 17 today.
And the 33 could easily join in. He gained a couple spots that last lap, trying to get back through the field. Oh, he got hit by the 44, Philip Brewer. What a save, and he still had the run on Telganoff off the corner. That was crazy.
Most laps led today going to AJ Stravado. 38 laps. A third of this race going to the 33. But still has his work cut out for him as we hit 10 to go.
Hit 10 to go. Ray Massey comes out of pit road in front of the field. He's 7 laps down. We'll see if he eventually moves over, but Jeff Wright won't get that clean air that he wants on the nose, maybe because of Massey. Although Massey's staying on the bottom, he won't be in the 48's line. He will be in the 24's line. This is a mess at the front. This is a mess across the entire field right now.
Where does Ray Massey go? Kenny Kibbe still on the move. Got away the 14th position. Trying to do work for the top 3. Kibbe has put on a fantastic race. I don't know if he has the goods to go up here and win this thing, but he definitely has the goods to get a podium.
Turner clears the 0-5, but you know Lehman's going to cross him over, and I think both drivers at some point are going to get frustrated with 9 laps to go. Neither driver giving up the spot to let the other chase that 48 down. It's just going to allow Jeff Wright to keep his tires cooler than they would be, and maybe kind of pull away at some point in these closing laps.
It's still a cluster of cars back here around the 10th position. McWhorter, Shepard, Brewer, Telganoff, Butler in there as well.
Big dive inside. Lehman got to the inside of the 48 again, but he shoved it hard into turn 3 to do it. He's not going to be able to hold that as Reggie Ortega. Really haven't talked about him a lot. He's climbing through the field as 48 keeps the spot.
I mentioned Reggie Ortega really at all today, but he's also a big mover. 26 positions gained for him, and he is battling with Kibbe. If he picks up one more spot, he'll be tied for positions gained.
Side by side. Once again, that 48 just about knocked the wall down, giving James Lehman room. And Lehman just trying so hard to drive the car into the corner. He just has no exit speed right now.
Jeff Wright running that middle arc, kind of pinching the exit of the corner for the 05. That's allowing Bailey Turner to kind of get a run on them. I don't know. Turner hasn't really proven that he has the goods to win this race. We were talking about that during the break. I mean, it's great that now he's in a good top 3 situation, but I don't think he had that race when he paced from the start. So I don't see him being a factor, but they're going to start racing back here. They're going to give it away to Jeff Wright.
Yeah, 0-5. I think Lehman realized he had to do something. Oh, teammates contact. Turner gets half spun. Cabot saves it. Turner saved it. They're going to go to the back. Puts Kenny Kibbe up to 3rd. Stravato's back up to 4th now. I think Cabot just came up thinking maybe a 24 track out more, and he didn't. Great saves by both drivers, but both out of contention now. Oh, crash. Front straightaway live. Big crash. 2, 3, 4 cars involved. 54, 99. Justin Ritchie's in it. Looked like Chris Hodges was in it. Seth Hatchell. And guess where that puts us?
Green white checkered territory.
Sure does. Not what Jeff Wright wanted to see.
Man, F-15 is destroyed.
I was about to say, I didn't see a lot of damage on that car, but clearly suspension got pounded. That thing is, that ain't
facing
working.
the wall.
That's incredible. There's like no cosmetic damage to that car. It's all suspension. All on the right rear. Where did it happen? Oh, well, you're 4 wide. That'll probably do it. 4 wide. Oh, Cost just kind of lost it there, it seemed. And just chaos ensued. There's no Cost, I think, realized he was 4 wide and just trying to give a little too much room, got a little out of shape right there, just turned him. And then Ritchie just innocent bystander, Seth Hatchell is a bystander.
I'm still trying to figure out how the 15 got the damage that he got out of that.
I think the 54 will be the culprit on that one. Be interesting to see if anyone pits this time by. Contact there. Right there. Right in the right rear. Suspension just completely destroys it. It's interesting. It's not really a meatball. He doesn't get the meatball, so he could technically keep running. I just don't know how that's going to be possible.
Would you want to? I don't think I'd want to.
Hey, every point matters. Do the tires matter? Let's see right here if they do. Doesn't look like it. Ortega. Reggie's going to pit. Here comes McWhorter from 10th. Brought down a decent amount of drivers, but
Haley Turner pit as well.
That doesn't surprise me too much. He was just didn't have the speed. Looking at the fall off on that run, the 48 had a 41.8. That was his fastest lap on this set of tires. He was running 43 flat. So fall off was there. As Joshua Banks looks like he gets the lucky dog. Adrian Telgen off pit.
35.
Telgen off pit. Ortega's out first. Didn't realize Telgenov fell back a long way after that restart. He was back in 15th.
And that's the flip side. Noah Michalski back up into the top 10 with fresher tires than the cars in front of him. So,
yeah, that they were on pretty much the same set of tires, and the 3 decided to stay out. It just didn't work out. He just started bleeding spots. Still really don't know how Broderick Vaclavic crashed on the restart. Never really got a good view of that. I think he probably obviously had contact with someone to wreck that far into the grass in turn 1.
We have 3 attempts here this evening at green-white checkered territory. Drivers will take the green flag with 2 laps to go. If they make it back to the white flag, the race will be official. If we do not make it back to that white flag and that marker just about the exit of turn 4 and a caution falls, we will rack them back up and try again with the same extension of the race of 3 laps. But I'm paying close attention. Noah Michalski is in a great situation for a top 5, maybe even a podium if he can navigate this traffic quickly.
I like where Stravato is in 4th because he's just been pretty fast and he's able to be on road 2. I'm not surprised Jeff Wright's picking the bottom so Stravato doesn't get the jump, but Yeah, I like where Kenny Kibbe is because he's in third and can kind of cheat off the 48 a little bit. Just, I do like you said, Mahalski has pretty good tires. I don't hate where he is. Just looking at Reggie Ortega, he came out and actually kind of missed him. Not sure where he is and all that.
Cycled
Actually
back
came
through
back.
it. I don't think he got the tires he wanted.
Oh, yeah, he came down the pit again. I'm not sure what that was about. Did he miss his stall, maybe? No, you know what? He had tires unchecked, I think. So he took fuel only. That's a killer. I liked the pit call, but he ended up not really utilizing it. So first driver on tires is actually Chuck Sweeting. He's going to restart 13th. I don't hate that. And then you got McWhorter back there. Second and a half of difference still. But it's a second and a half of difference. I still kind of like that.
Yeah, it's that dirty air, and you know these guys are going to be fanning out 3-4
But
wide.
But if you don't, remember, this is a natural green white checker. This is not going to take up an attempt. If you get a yellow here, you get some spots, don't get destroyed. That's when the tires look really good.
Yeah.
But I still think even if they get to the white flag, they might have a shot. Some of those guys, like McWhorter, like Turner.
Yeah. Well, let's find out. It'll be a natural green white checker here. 100 laps on the board, 2 to go. Green flag is out.
Oh.
Jeff Wright, lots of wheel spin in the middle of the pack.
Lehman jumped that for sure. I think I don't know if he has a black flag, but he definitely went early.
Did not get a black flag according to my telemetry. But Jeff Wright got an excellent shot here into turn 1, and it's Kenny Kibbe to the inside. He's pushing up the track a little bit.
Their car's all over the place. I'd be stunned if they get out of turn 2 cleanly. Oh, there they go. Mahalski's turned. That's going to be the caution. Elliott Butler's in it. Chad Klinger's in it. That's exactly what the guys on tires wanted to see.
Halski did not get a good restart here. Got pinned 3-4 wide. 5 wide.
Yeah.
McWhorter made it through that.
That was VSPEED top 10 nominee. He got past the wreck, and they were just 4 wide, and I think Mahalski didn't know it. Just came up. Shocked that was only 3 cars. Wow, that was actually crazy. I cannot believe McWhorter made that work. He actually got the 8th out of that. So I think I like where he is now. 0-3 squeezed to 6. 0-9 was there. There's no room for it. Looks like Andrew Telganov's going to get a penalty for switching lanes early.
We go back and dial that up.
See right here. It was a really weird restart because the 0-5 kind of went before the 48. Yeah, he definitely launched early. Yeah, that's changing lanes. Also, Chuck Sweeting kind of had a line there. I don't know if you would call that, but 3-car definitely switched lanes there. I'm not sure. No one's gotten an EOL for it yet, so I'm not sure if it's a penalty or just a warning. It is a pass-through penalty for the 3-car.
I mean, he might have got into the 6-car here. I want to go back.
He got a slight tap.
Maybe that's why that incident happened. Watch one more time here from the blimp camera. He had a big run on the outside. 09 Klinger gets moved. I think there?
I don't think so. I don't think that played a part. I think they got 3 wide to 0-9 to 6 with the 0-3, and it just, there was no room for it. Tagonoff might have bumped him, but I don't think it played a part in it. He had a really good run going if Chad Klinger doesn't come up to block him, though. I just cannot believe McWhorter got through there. That was insane. Yeah, he never touched him. He did hit the 0-9 a little bit, though, but the 0-3 was coming up. It was wreck insurance, if anything.
Yeah.
I mean, that was never
3 or
going to
4
work.
things happening simultaneously. Can't really pinpoint which one it was.
I would love to get one more look at that McWhorter restart, though. I mean, that was sweet. And if he could get up there to win this race, it could play huge dividends. He restarted 14th and came out of that 8th. Watch this, folks. I mean, he is still in about the 14th spot. There, he's going to get 1. He's going to get 2. He's going to get 3, 4, 5 right there. And then he's going to get 2 more right here before the yellow flag flies. And that is
Was
one
that
of the
9
great
spots in one turn?
It looked like about 8. It was somewhere around there. That could pay big dividends if he could win this race, because he's got really good tires.
Now, as does Chuck Sweeting, Bailey Turner, Angelo Huronis. Those cars came down 4 laps ago during that final pit stop. Everybody in the top 10, with the exception of McWhorter, is on older tires, about 20-lap difference. Evan Davis in a little bit different situation than the rest of these drivers. 60 car has 16 laps. He can pass these guys in front of him, but he's probably going to get passed by the guys behind him at the same time. So I think he's going to end up around 10th position when it's all said and done.
That McWhorter restart, I don't know if he could do that again, but I think if he gets a clean 1 and 2 and can get a run down the back, he's got a really good chance of stealing this win. I don't count out Chuck Sweeting. He's only a row behind him, but he's going to be kind of pinned on the bottom. Bailey Turner's another one of those cars on fresh tires. He's going to be on the top side. He's going to have all that room in 1 and 2. Oh, this is going to be something.
Green-white checkered attempt number 1 official now, as we extended this race 4 laps. We'll go green on lap 102. Here we go with Jeff Wright, James Lehman, Kenny Kibbe, AJ Stravado, Adam Cabot, 23 laps on the stint. You have Shepard, Floyd, McWhorter, Brewer, and Davis on the top 10.
Watch for
2.
Lehman here. I mean, he kind of jumped it last time, got away with it, and we'll see what type of games are played on this one.
Back underway at Auto Club. Jeff Wright out for a great restart. Is it going to be enough to hold off the rest of these fresh tires?
Important for Lehman. He's clear of those guys behind him, but he went to the high side, so now it's going to be 3 wide.
Gibby on the bottom.
That's exactly what Jeff Wright needs, and McWhorter on those tires just did not really get to the top side the way he needed to.
3 wide for second place. Stravado in the middle. Crash in the background. It's the 75
another
of
yellow.
Sweeting.
Oh, that's a big one. Huge crash.
Kerry is involved. Seth Hatchell gets a piece of it again.
Rich Ortega. I saw Huronis in there. I think McWhorter got a bail out there. He did not have a good restart, so he'll have another shot at it. This is at least the second time that we've gotten... Oh, wow, great run for Turner there. Second time we'll have green-white checkers at this race, by the way. Oh, Stephen Davis just right reared him. I'm not sure what that was about. Brian Dean got in it. There's where Ortega and Bryce Shoemaker got together. I'm not sure if Stephen Davis just somehow lost the car or there was something we missed between these two. I'm not sure. He just, I mean, there's no doubt he just right rears him.
I don't have an explanation for that. I don't know if maybe the car's a little unsettled in the backstretch.
Yeah, I don't know. See what Reggie Ortega saw. Banks is back here still trying to recover. He had it stopped, and Shoemaker's trying to swerve to avoid stuff, and here goes Seth Hatchell hitting the brakes. Ooh, I think it was Adam Cabot. Someone barely got through that back there. Stephen Davis actually going to pit. Well, he has a lot of damage. He has no choice. That was a wild one. I don't know what about that one, but
it's not over yet.
Agonizing for Jeff Wright because he's not only got to go through. This is his third green-white checkered, really, and he could still have a fourth one to have to deal with. But Michael Jones, I don't know how he got through that, but he did. He's actually up to the
12th.
12th. Yeah.
Caleb Weekly in 11th.
Lucky dog Broderick Vaclavic. So 33 cars lead lap. Might lose some because of the crash.
I have no other analogy. So I'm going to use how the turns have tabled.
Turns have definitely tabled. And they could table even more.
Yep. We have another attempt here.
Have another attempt. You still got guys on tires. I thought McWhorter was going to go to the high side again and maybe try to get some spots that way. He kind of ran into the back of J.R. Shepard when I was watching him on that restart. Kind of stunted all his momentum. He got very fortunate to still be in the 8th position and not be involved in that crash. They let Bailey Turner get up to 9th, so Turner's the second driver on new tires now. But running out of chances. I feel like McWhorter kind of wasted that one. He's got a second chance to try to get the top of the racetrack. I think when you have such a tire advantage, you got to get the clean track, and he just kind of followed the 98. He was on older tires.
Yeah. New cars coming down to get repairs done. You had the 99 of Brandon Wallace, the 64, also down pit road. Gonna cycle back out. It's been Laughter. Justin Carey still trying to get his car fixed up. Justin Carey actually going to end up going a lap down. I don't think he's going to make it out before this pace car. He will not.
Too much damage, unless he speeds.
Yeah, he's going to have to stop here.
Didn't look like Sweeting made it. He's another one who's got a lot of damage, just like the 15. Speaking of 15, that car actually is going straight now. He is 3 laps down, but still a little sideways.
Not going to get back on the lead lap. Not enough time left for it. But could gain some positions. It is possible. Still have about 27 cars on this racetrack. 29 of them competitive in lap for Brandon Wallace have damage still. Elliott Butler picked up a little bit of damage from that as well. So sitting around 28. Stephen Davis, he's pretty much out of it. Broderick Vaclavic, Matt Shinosky.
Another chance for Jeff Wright to get away from Lehman. Just wonder if Stravato can maybe time this restart, maybe get by Lehman, but it seems like every time they just get side by side for second, Jeff Wright's able to get away. I really think it comes down to either Jeff Wright wins this or those newer tires get to him.
Here we go for our second green-white checkered attempt into the restart zone. Jeff Wright with another big jump on James Lehman.
Oh,
and Lehman's going to lose it.
Oh,
big
big crash.
Field, McWhorter sideways.
Oh, my gosh. It just does not get better for Joseph McWhorter. They're still crashing. 9 cars in it. Oh, boy. He just spun the tires pretty late. Banks got clipped. Cars into the inside wall. Ortega gets into it. Now Bailey Turner's first one on tires in 8th, and this is an unfortunate end to what was a really good race. But Lehman he actually really got a good jump on the restart. He just overspun the tires and didn't lift and just put in the outside wall and came right down the track and hit the 73.
Listen in on the audio for this restart. Watch that RPM gauge. I think it's going to jump all the way up to 9,000 just before the shift. It's going to be really sudden. Yeah.
It's like when he downshifted, it got squirrely, and you could see him climbing and climbing. He never really lifted out of it to collect it. Someone gets it well down there. I just couldn't see who, but took out a lot of guys. Ortega got hit by the 35. Banks has recovered as much as he can, and it's gone away again. I see. Look out. No, it might have been Horonis. It's just nothing he could do. Talked about the attrition rate. That said it might eventually pick up. I think it's picked up. There's just nothing you can do.
Didn't even see it coming.
That is a true shame. It was a really, really good race brewing before that first yellow, and unfortunately, these tires, spinning the tires, this happens. Now, Bailey Turner is kind of a last chance for the guys who pit for tires. That's if we get to the white flag. We haven't gotten there. He will restart 7th, but so many cycles, it starts not mattering.
Joshua Banks done for the day. Joseph McWhorter out of this race. He also has a 9 of Chambliss. So with the 15 of Hodges coming back out on the racetrack, he stands to gain about 2-3 positions on this, up to 31st.
Is that 35 still upside down?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he actually has left.
Yeah, this is really nothing went right for Banks in this race.
Yeah.
This does change the front row, puts AJ Stravato on the front row. It gives him the chance to maybe time up the restart. He's really been, for the most part, the fastest driver all race when we have gone green. You would think if he has a shot at Jeff Wright, he'd probably take it. But if he don't get green flag running, he's not going to have a chance.
And Cabot reminding Jeff Wright that he's here.
Trying to choose the 48's lane for him.
It worked.
Wright's going to pick the outside. That's a little surprising. I guess might know Bailey Turner. Maybe he knows Bailey Turner's on the inside. Didn't want to give him the jump. I don't think compared to the guys on older tires, I'm not sure if it matters. But it maybe gives Kibbe a chance to jump on the outside of Stravato and get the runoff or 2. That could be part of Jeff Wright's reasoning as well.
This is the closing laps. This is the last attempt at green-white checkered that we have here this evening. If we make it to the white flag, the race is official. If we have a caution, the race is official. Wherever this field is, if that caution comes out, is where it will be frozen. We'll have to sort out that timing mark, but I believe there are 2 timing marks in 1 and 2, and then you have 1 on the back stretch.
You got to remember, if they wreck out of turn number 4, it's not necessarily going to trigger that yellow. We saw Kentucky seasons ago. You know, if that white flag shows up on the leader's screen before that yellow is triggered by iRacing, they're going to race it out to the white flag, then to a checkered flag. So if they end up wrecking out of 4, we got to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Michael Sturgill won that race.
Back to season 4, I believe.
Next gen season, yep. Another one that came down to a green-white checker.
Here we go. Pace car is going to get out of the way for the last time this evening. Jeff Wright has 1 more restart to get right. Can he hold on? Kibbe behind him with 28 positions gained, looking at a podium. The 33, one of the dominant cars of the day, spins the tires a little bit, has Cabot on the back bumper going into 1.
And he just did not get the restart he needed. Now they're going to be side by side. If he can just clear Kibbe, maybe get a run out off of 2, he'll still have a shot. Here comes Turner. Look at him. He's got the tires, but he's pinned on the inside. Nowhere to go.
Wide there with Shepard on the outside. He'll give room to the 58.7 of Floyd. Floyd's going to get to the top 5.
If Turner could have just kept it 3 wide for 3rd, he'd have a chance here, but he just didn't get under the 17.
Going to take a send here on the outside.
What, middle? Oh, I thought he was going to go middle.
He's going to go bottom. He'll get the run.
Make it
1
to the
lap
white.
to go. We made it to the white flag. Jeff Wright has no one contesting him right now. It's about 1.5 tenths back to the 33 of Stravato. 1 more time around, 2 miles left.
Here comes Turner. Fresh tires got him to the inside of Stravato. Stravato got really close to the 30 to 48, and Bailey Turner has such a good run off of 2. Here comes Bailey Turner.
Duganoff hit the wall coming out of 4 in the background. It's 3 wide for the 5th position. But look at Caleb Weekly up to the top 3.
Caleb Weekly, where'd he come from?
Fresh tires for the 13. He's going to dive to the inside. He might even get 2nd out of this. Coming off of 4, Bailey Turner's going to get the victory, but Caleb Weekly from around 12th position to 2nd spot. Bailey Turner wins week 2.
The horseshoe still fits for Bailey Turner. What a race what a run Caleb Weekly got to the front, but Bailey Turner just got enough clean air on the bottom of the racetrack to steal another victory at Auto Club. That is his 3rd victory at this track.
Oh! Cabot's going to wreck everyone.
Michael Jones ended up 5th.
Adam Cabot making sure that he actually wrecked the 24 this time.
Bailey Turner, man. I mean, it just falls his way sometimes.
Caleb Weekly not going to have an opportunity to bring this car to the front stretch. It's not screenshot worthy anymore.
Neither really is the 24. But he's going to burn it down anyways. Win number 14 in Saturday Night Racing League. 8 behind Jeff Wright for the all-time mark. Whoa!
Post-race interviews with your top 3. Those final race results. Week 2 has concluded here at Auto Club with Bailey Turner in a surprise victory. A top 3 with Caleb Weekly and Jeff Wright. We'll get a word with those drivers in just a moment's time. You're watching VSPEED with Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Coming back here, we're going to get a look at this final lap. White flag is in the air. You see Jeff Wright with the lead, but there's a 6-wide moment here that I think we need to take a look at.
Michael Jones goes to the inside, and he's looking really 3 wide, but the old tires and new tires kind of mesh here to where just for a moment, You get right here, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the 22 all the way to Telganoff. Just for a brief moment, they were 4 wide. They were definitely 5 wide for longer than that. That's how crazy these green-white checkers can be at Auto Club, as Telganoff got in the wall there. But fresh tires, they just needed the laps, and they ended up prevailing. I thought maybe Jeff Wright would block the inside, force the 24 up the track, but just couldn't quite do it. But 6 wide, I think that's a Saturday night first. I don't think I've ever seen 6 wide in this series.
Yeah, and I don't have a camera wide enough to see it, so.
Yeah, the overhead is good. Chopper's as good as we're going to get. That was ridiculous. And Michael Jones passed all of them. He passed about 5 cars in that corner.
Final results coming up on your screen after what was a caution-free race for the first 80% of it. Then we went to 6 cautions, 12 lead changes, used all 3 of our green-white checkers, and 2 of the dominant cars of the day, AJ Stravado and Jeff Wright, end up falling back 3rd and 4th position. But Bailey Turner, you said it, the horseshoe still fits. The 24 finds a way to victory lane in week 2. Caleb Weekly, an excellent drive up from 9th position to 2nd there on that final restart. We'll get a word with Jeff Wright and those drivers in just a moment. AJ Stravado, Michael Jones, like you said, up to 5th spot. Then Adam Cabot, making sure he finished off the 24 car. He'd already made contact with his teammate earlier in the race, so wanted to get the job done there. He'll finish 6th. Kenny Kibbe, still a great race for him. Kenny Kibbe, the biggest mover, actually.
Caleb Weekly, maybe.
Caleb Weekly, no. Michael Jones, 31 spots gained.
Oh, yeah,
so
Michael Jones. Yeah.
There you go. He'll be the Clark Print Shop biggest mover. They toss that around all race long. You can go back to Justin Ritchie, Seth Hatchell, and Andrew Telganoff for the top 10.
It's a good finish for Hatchell. We really didn't see a lot of him. He was in some of those crashes. He ends up top 10, so I think he'll take that for sure. Jared Shepard, he ran top 10 a lot of this race, but he ends up 11th. Dakota Floyd, 12th. Philip Brewer, 13th. He was another driver running top 10. Casey Lakatos, he's up 24 positions. He got up to 14th. Bryce Shoemaker up 20 to 15th. Max Cost had a lot of damage at some points in this race, but I think he'll take 16th. He ended with a clean car after repairing it. Angelo Horonis, he somehow finished with that car in 17th. Keith Shoemaker, 18th. He started in dead last, and he got up to 18th. I think he'll take that. Matt Shinosky, 19th, and Brian Dean, who's a part of a few of those crashes himself, plus 22 to get the 20th.
A first spot to Noah Mahalski. Remember the back stretch there for Mahalski in the 09, and there was a 4 wide moment there where the 03 got turned around. Reggie Ortega, he was up in the top 10 in the ending this race. He ends up getting wrecked into the inside pit wall with Angelo Horonis. Ben Lafter, 23rd. Elliott Butler, how much did we talk about him in the top 10 in the first half of this race? Ends up 24th. Stephen Davis made a mistake on the backstretch. He got into the side of someone, 20 pits for him. Brandon Wallace never could repair this car to be fast enough, but he does end up 26. Justin Carey, Broderick McLavick, 27th, 28th. Chuck Sweeting back to 29th. The luck continues for the 75. And Nathan Ferrada going to round out the top 30 here today.
I think he'll take that. He was wrecked very early and persevered to get at least a top 30 out of the day. Christopher Hodges ended up repairing his damage, ended up 31st. Brian Chambliss, 32nd, totaled in that final crash. James Lehman at the front all day, spun the tires, ends up 33rd. Joseph McWhorter, that's how the luck's gone for him since the championship. 34th place for him. The winless streak continues. Joshua Banks, probably the driver who had the worst day. He had nothing go his way today. He ends up 35th in the 35. Ray Massey's 36th. Rob Hamp, 37th. Chad Klinger, he ran in the top 10. He ends up 38th. 39th, Austin Belke. And Eldon Stewart, who was running top 20 at one point, ends up in the 40th position.
There's a list of drivers, final finishers with Tim Shinosky. You had your pole sitter. That's the biggest break here tonight. Lost the most spots, 41 spots lost for Justin Michael. Ryan Carwile, early exit for him, 97 laps down. Then it was Mark McFadden, John Sanu, and Logan Watering not making the field here this evening. But with that, it's time to take you trackside and go to Victory Lane, where Connor Horn has caught up with your race winner. The horseshoe is still on. The 24 car, Bailey Turner, Connor Horn with him.
I was going to mention that. We kind of saw in the real world, Kevin Harvick said that 48 had the golden horseshoe. Seems like it doesn't matter. Maybe it wasn't there last season, Bailey, but certainly you had it today. Played strategy all race long. It certainly worked out at the end. Just take us through the last restarts after the first yellow, because you really weren't, you didn't have the speed, but the strategy just fell in your lap.
Yeah, I mean, we got lucky with that caution, around lap 80. I was just trying an alternate strategy. I went, kind of full on conservative because we started, mid pack and thought, save some tires and then kind of pick these guys off as we went into the run since, we were going 40-ish laps a run and just never really materialized with the tire saving. Even if I had better tires than everybody, it was so hard to build runs if they were just guarding the top. And yeah, the strategy worked out well. We got the caution, was restarting third, and was trying to help Lehman kind of push Jeff there just to see if I can push both of them into a mistake and take advantage. And then, me doing that, Adam got to my left rear, spun me nearly into my race at the inside wall on the backstretch. And then, yeah, from there it was just, all right, let's just go off strategy, put 4 tires on it and see what we can do, avoid a few wrecks. And yeah, when we were trapped on the bottom, I really didn't think we were going to get there, but the mid corner speed that I was able to carry compared to those guys, I mean, realistically, it was the game changer there on that last lap. And thought Jeff was going to try something crazy, maybe cross me over, but I think he just didn't have any tire left. And yeah, we'll take the golden horseshoe here at Auto Club again. It's especially after how last week went, getting wrecked mid race and everything, and not really even having a chance for the full 500 miles. It's a fun comeback.
It was crazy to watch for sure. Your third win at Auto Club. I would say the second one where you kind of stole one from the 48, even though maybe he stole one, all that. Either way, you're third here at this track. You get another one in the O'Reilly Series car, and across the seasons, we've seen you obviously run 3 different cars, won the championship in the next gen car, not so great in the Gen 4 car. So where does the O'Reilly car at this stage really, because we're going to get an update to this car soon, but where do you think your speed stands in the O'Reilly car for the races you're going to run this season?
Yeah, I think I'm praying for that update. I mean, this car it's just a boat. I mean, it's just not really fun to drive. I mean, even a setup where you think it's going to be loose, you're burning the right front off of it. And yeah, it's just getting old. I mean, this thing is, I think I'd rather drive this than the Gen 4, but it's a close match there as far as the disdain for it. I'd rather be racing the next gen. So, yeah, we'll see how this season goes. I mean, I've seen crazier things happen, and it's such a honestly, I feel like a pretty top-heavy field with a lot of big names. I mean, there's guys that I would have expected, Seth Hatchell to be up here racing for the win, and he's running around 10th all race. So it's definitely pretty competitive up front, and it's going to be a tough season. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll see some new names up front and a lot of fun battles.
Driver complaining about the car after winning. So on page Kyle Busch, I think he did that once. But you complain about and win. Doesn't matter when you win. That's, I believe, your 14th win is what I said, which is true. 8 off the all-time mark from Jeff Wright. Maybe you get there, maybe you don't. But either way, you're second all-time, and you get a series-leading third at Auto Club in crazy fashion. Anyone else you want to thank or shout out for this?
Yeah, I mean, just honestly, a huge shout out to Adam Cabot. I mean, him spinning me off the, turn 2 over there. He's done, he's wrecked me a couple times now, so I'm sure there's something coming for him. But no, I'm kidding. Shout out to those guys, all the boys over at the Sad Boys. Glad AJ kind of put together a good race without getting wrecked. That's a new thing for him on Saturday nights. Before Angelo and Josh got taken out there, but they'll bounce back next week. So yeah, looking forward to wherever we're going.
Well, I think not only Cabot's paying the bill for your car, but also I think he destroyed the 13 car more, who we will interview right after you. Another victory for you in crazy fashion. Bailey, thanks for talking to us. Congratulations again, and we will see you next Saturday.
Appreciate it.
The bill for the 17 is going to be pretty high, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars that they're going to be rebuilding there, and he better sell a lot of hair products because he's got a pretty sizable one. But you got to go back to our second place finisher. We were trying to get the camera to work, but it didn't seem to come to fruition. But we have caught up with Caleb Weekly. And where did you come from? I think it was 10th, 9th position on that last restart, and suddenly you were in the top 3 in 2 corners.
Yeah, I was 9th, and I had a little bit fresher tires than the guys in front of me, and I was just trying to just get at as much spots as I could. It's early in the season, trying to get every points I can, and here was a great opportunity, and I was so close to the win, Bradley. I was so close. Had I kind of been a little more aggressive early, I could have gotten it done, but it's nonetheless second is a great result.
Yeah, and the aggression there, we saw a lot of people that backfired on them. We saw 3 green, white checkers, actually 4 if you want to get technical, with the natural end of this race also being in that scenario. But it cycled 4 different pit strategies by the end of it, and you came out on top of it.
Yeah, I knew when the people were pitting on like lap 84, I'm like, no, God, that's too early. So I just waited and hoped. I know how the script for these SNR races go. You get a long, clean race, and then a caution comes out for something stupid, and then it just turns into chaos. So I knew there was going to be another caution, and I was right. Just getting through those wrecks was the main thing, and coming out on top and keeping this car clean until Cabot destroyed it after the checker.
Yeah, and that incident count of 4 incident points, I think you got them all right there. But 27 positions gained here for you, Caleb Weekly. This is an excellent rebound from what happened last week at Daytona. To a lot of people in 500 miles, a lot can go wrong. You come out here, race 2, have a great outing, and it looks like the 13's off to a great start here in the Cup Series. Anyone that comes to mind to shout out?
Yeah, my team, FireStorm, they've been great so far. We a lot of practice, which is the reason why I could just go up from ninth to second effortlessly. It seemed. Grandma Weekly, of course, she watches every race, and then just all the guys at Iconic and Jeff for being an amazing friend and admin to this league, and of course the admin team.
Caleb Weekly, second place here at Auto Club in the second race of the season of season 6. Congratulations. We'll see you in 7 days at Phoenix.
Thanks, Bradley.
And finally, that brings us to our third place finisher. It looks like zero sugar day here for the Pepsi 48. Man, how many races now at Auto Club have you been the dominant car in the second half? And that golden horseshoe, I don't know where he keeps it, but he finds it every week, and you end up back in third.
Yeah, unfortunate, didn't quite go our way there at the end. Thought, maybe if we had one less green white checkered there, maybe we would have had enough on the old tires to hold those guys off. But it's just the way those races go sometimes. And, from where this race started, we had a really bad start to the race. We started 8th and somebody spun their tires. We fell all the way back in mid-pack. And so we were kind of buried deep. So if you had told me I would have been sitting here with a chance to win the race and then, get a top 3, I think I would have taken that. So, but yeah, congrats to Bailey on the win. I think that's 3 for him at Auto Club now. So, he's certainly always a threat here. And how about Caleb? Second place to Caleb. I think he said that tied his second best finish, or is, tied for the best finish he's had here in Saturday Night Racing League. So happy for him. And then just, shout out to all those other guys that were really fast tonight. AJ was really on it. Joseph McWhorter, Andrew Telganoff, all those guys really, really fast tonight. And the way the cautions fell kind of took them out of it, and that actually presented us an opportunity to actually have a shot at this. So just happy to have a shot, but unfortunate we couldn't quite close it out tonight. But all things considered, we'll take a P3.
We were talking to Bailey. He was mentioning the competition level. When we saw it here tonight, we actually had to eliminate 3 cars from the grid here this evening. And then we look at like Angelo Hirona, Seth Hatchell, some of these guys that are usually up in the top 5 all race long, deep in this field. And you even kind of felt that you were hanging around the top 10 most of the day. How difficult was it? How competitive was it out there tonight, Jeff?
Oh, it's so tough. I mean, I think this was one of the higher strength fields for the league that we've had in league history. Just, we had to eliminate some guys like you mentioned. We had, I think, 45, 46 guys show up that wanted to qualify in tonight. And, we take the top 43, and the competition's so close. And yeah, if you get buried in traffic, everybody's so close on speed and talent that it's just kind of hard to go anywhere. So that just shows how important qualifying really is to set yourself up, for a good race, to get away from the traffic, get some clean air to the front of the nose of the car, so you can have a little bit more downforce. But it really seemed like nobody could get away tonight. I mean, it was really a lot of drafting tonight, and you didn't really see anybody check out to, a 1, 2, 3 second lead. So to answer your question, yeah, super competitive, excited for this season. I think it's probably going to be one of our most competitive seasons yet. And, having Bailey Turner win a race here early, that doesn't spell good for the rest of us for this season. But hey, it's early. We'll go to Phoenix next week, and we'll see if we can bounce back and try to get some more points.
2-time champion Jeff Wright, congratulations on the podium finish. I know this is another successful start to another successful season, but next week at Phoenix in 7 days' time, before we get to that point, who do you have to shout out?
Yeah, just big thanks to all of our sponsors that help us so much financially. M&J Distributors being the series sponsor, 29 Graphics, Walk and Roll Costumes, FireStorm Racing, Clark Print Shop, Juicy Spider Studios, and obviously VSPEED every single week bring in these incredible broadcasts. It's so fun to go back last week, watch our SNR 500, how great of a job, you guys did production, but the commentating too. So we have the best in the business with VSPEED. So greatly appreciate you guys. I'll give a shout out to Andy tonight. He had a fantastic race and, things didn't pan out for him. And congrats to Bailey again. And then big shout out to Caleb, second place for him tonight. Started all the way back in 29th and gets second. So that's pretty cool.
Excellent race, excellent show. Hopefully next week at Phoenix, we can continue on with that trend, but we'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Jeff Wright, third place here on the podium in week number 2. Connor, fantastic show. I know that we wanted this race maybe to stay green, but we saw a lot of action there in those green-white checkers, and I think if you go as far as, strategy and how this race could pan out, I don't know if there's any better product here on VSPEED right now. That was fantastic to watch.
I mean, that perfectly described the duality of a NASCAR fan. I mean, we had 77 laps green, great racing at the front. Stravato seemed like the dominant car. He did, strategy was going to have to play out. He still had to pass a few cars, along with Joseph McWhorter, who got ahead of him. McWhorter was actually in the best spot there, possibly. But then the yellow falls, all that falls apart. Bailey Turner, Jeff Wright, the big beneficiaries of it. And then the second half, the other NASCAR fans were happy because we saw a lot of crashes, which was, I think, unfortunate, but obviously provided a lot of action, a lot of chaos. Jeff Wright led through all of it until that final green-white checkered. The one constant throughout the entire 112-lap race that we saw, 12 laps over distance, the one constant was the tire wear. I mean, we saw over 3 seconds of tire wear at the beginning of the race, and even when the track cooled down, there was still so much tire wear to the point where Bailey Turner and some of those guys like Caleb Weekly, Michael Jones, even after getting in crashes or avoiding crashes, those tires, once they finally got 2 laps green, were able to prevail and once again get Bailey Turner, kind of carry him to the victory. He's the all-time leader at this track, and he's second to Jeff Wright on the all-time list. As we go from one track on the West Coast, we're going to go right over to another.
Week 3, Phoenix Raceway, March 7th, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Hit the subscribe button. You'll never miss a single race here for Saturday Night Racing League. We have all season long, all the way to August. We'd like to thank everybody for coming out here and watching this here tonight. I've been your host, Bradley Cooper, Connor Horn, co-commentary for all 5 and now 6 seasons. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, hit the subscribe button and you'll see every single one. But for Adam Baker, Morgan Cook, Eddie Smith, and everybody that helps put this together in the admin team of Saturday Night Racing League, it's been another great production. We still have a lot of racing left to go to get to the chase, but that's going to do it for us here at Auto Club. An extension of 12 laps here today. Will it be a new name in Victory Lane in the desert? Take care, everybody. Stay tracking.